I am Couch Coop and all's about to be explained. As you all may well know, I love a good indie. Quite a few have appeared on Game Pass and PSN. I recently reviewed a game called Bullpit. Cannot believe that thumbnail got past the algorithm. We're looking at Dome Keeper, currently on Steam and Microsoft. No Switch version or PSN or PlayStation, unfortunately. Actually 60% discount on Steam at the moment. It appeals to me in numerous areas. We're going to go over them. As you can see already, this has got a sort of digging Boulder Dash vibe where you're chipping away at a whole landscape underneath that integral aforementioned dome. Some of you may be thinking this looks a little bit mundane, but it's actually quite therapeutic, and this is as calm as the game actually gets because you're beginning to excavate and pull out cool stuff from underneath you and pump it into the machinery up at the surface. And what is our motivation for all this toil, I hear you ask? There are waves of nasties coming at your dome on the surface of this alien planet. You can purchase different UI notifications to give you notice of this. It's all over there on the far left. So you can't be down underneath the dome forever. You have to work around this wave system. And yes, they do increase in magnitude and different quite cool animated alien silhouettes. There's flyers, there's big bulking ones, there's little bugs that jump onto the dome. It's pretty cool stuff. Lovers in a dangerous space-time, I hear you yell in an enthusiastic, I love that local co-op game voice. That is almost identical to the ray gun when controlling that circular ship. That was a local co-op game. Dang, this could be a very good local co-op split screener. I may write a strongly worded letter to the developers. Different elements or jewels or rocks that you find underneath the dome do different things, and when you have the upgrade screen come up, some of it's a lot more rarer than others, and the golden squares are kind of a mainstay and are needed for nearly everything. But sometimes you find these amazing massive relics which are a brand new additional gadget perk to the dome itself. Those relics may even need an element inserted into it before it releases said gadget. And also talking about that dome and that ray gun, you might remember the intro where it was totally different. Yes, this is a temporary setup. This is really your starter dome. Hence the reason that gun feels a bit skimpy in effectiveness, but you're also at lower grade, so it's moving slowly. The beam itself is really thin, so it's difficult to get from one side of the battlefield to the other. The Tesla dome, which we've got coming up, is not the same story. Here's a final wave coming in. Now, I get two vibes with the animation style as well. Hyperlight Drifter feels like it's in here, mixed with a little bit of Children of Mortar. It's really great detail, and I love this skull on the final critical hit at the end. If an indie game's got some love behind a lot of the animations, you're normally in for a pretty damn good ride. And I've always said this over the last 5 years, and you may have heard me say it before, loads of my gaming satisfaction is now found in indie games. I would say about 40 to 50% of my gaming calendar is spent mucking around with them, and they also do quite a good job on local co-op. On that subject, I've got the Dead Cells Castlevania DLC review coming up. I waited a couple of years to get to that, so I was very, very much honoured to be able to put it on the channel. Stay tuned. So it's a new dome and a new biome. The Tesla Tower cometh. It's got a free moving cursor to target stuff with. The whole thing has just been upped a notch. So that also affects every single one of your weapon perks. That screen looks completely different. You need to take things in different directions. It feels like you've opened a whole brand new section of the game and you've just done the prologue. Automation is also a goal, so you want stuff to be able to do things for you, and the intro had a lift in it like a hyper tunnel that could take me up and down, more importantly my cargo, and it was operated by bots. If you've played Nom Nom Galaxy, you know how satisfying mechanical automation is, and yeah, that's another vibe I get from this game. I know I'm dropping the references everywhere, but this is like a patchwork of some very cool mechanics from games I really like. Grabbing the elements with that string does feel a little bit like Pixel Junk's shooters, and you have to weigh up quite literally what you're going to be able to take up top, because it might take you ages. The wave meter might be really close, the alarm's going off, the whole you're not supposed to be here doing this right now because it's about to kick off somewhere else is a familiar feeling with a lot of video games. Or that sort of just one more bit, just one more little bit of element and I've got enough that I need for that upgrade. Doesn't matter, there's a horde at the top on the planet's surface that are about to decimate the dome. On this run, I found a green tentacle thing that I sort of rescued out of the rock work, and he now helped me, I've gendered him, with the extraction of a lot of your recovered elements. Also, soil density is a thing. You'll notice there's a change in colour there. More hits to actually get through it, but better rewards, but it will slow you down. But then again, there is a perk to increase your drill efficiency. The same thing goes for your jetpack. You can see how sluggish I am with this full load. The gadgets thing is one of the more fascinating areas, and that's from those special relics I was talking about earlier. One of them was like a periscope for me, so I could take that fight without having to go up to the surface, but it was a black and white fruition of it, and it had a bit of a delay. I thought that was a genius idea. I do see a slight missed opportunity in not having anything really to do with the right analog stick, i.e. you're not going to get a pistol and there's nothing really that terrifying down there. It's all about being inside the dome and killing the creatures on the surface. A tiny amount of firing down there wouldn't have gone amiss, and I can imagine this game completely working but with an underwater setup as well, like the Mariana Trench DLC. Bring it guys, that's my second letter I'll be sending to the developers. I really want it to come over to all the platforms as well, hopefully it will. I think it's going to prove quite popular on Game Pass, but it came out in 2022, so this is not a new indie game by any stretch. There is some folklore and superstition out there about me having the Midas touch with this sort of thing, because I mentioned Gunfire Reborn, and the following 6 months it was just released everywhere. The same thing happened with Deep Rock Galactic, so the prophecy may well come true. Okay, here's footage of one of the final waves. This is on the medium map, and yeah, it goes off. I have heavily fortified the dome with an electric fence around it as well to protect against the little grenade dudes, and I've got a lingering electric shock on my firepower, so everything is going hell for leather, and it all acts as a great conundrum and reward for your hard work with the previous leveling and some of that quieter gameplay. Then, just when you're thinking this game couldn't get any more wholesome, you unlock a new character which actually has a different gathering system than the string method, and you get to see a real-time opening of how you developed the map. So you can see all the pockets, how you missed stuff that was right around the corner. I thought that was an excellent addition. My name was, of course, Couch Coop, and we do have some amazing local co-op indies coming up before the end of the year. I imagine you know what they are: Marvel Cosmic Invasion and Absalom. I will, of course, see you all down there.